They're trying to convince people that these are the people that are making us bankrupt. They are approving for themselves millions of dollars in bonuses for bankrupting the company. I mean, that is the backwards logic of capital.
We've been talking about yellow for the last few months. You know, the Teamsters have been in the news, particularly with their fight with UPS, where they won a really big contract. A historic number of UPS Teamster members voted at all, and then also voted in favor of the contract. So a lot of support for that contract, a lot of wins in that contract. But another big story with the Teamsters was their fight with Yellow, which is a less than truckload trucking company that went bankrupt recently due to the mismanagement of the executives who had made financial decisions without the input of the workers, financial decisions that led to the ruination of the company, financial decisions like acquiring competitors when they didn't need to be taking on loans to do that. And then after they acquired the competitors, they did not integrate their operations into Yellow's profile. So they had multiple companies within their portfolio who continued to compete against one another, trying to undercut each other instead of working together. And also, one of the financial decisions that Yellow made that led to the ruination of the company was keeping their prices much lower than industry standard. That's one of the reasons why they were not able to consistently turn a profit, is because their prices were so low, despite all of their debt, despite the costs that are associated with the running of the company. Their prices were just ridiculously low. So they went bankrupt due to mismanagement, and management has been trying to blame it on the workers, blame it on the Teamsters. It's the Teamsters' fault. It's the greedy Teamsters' fault that we went bankrupt, despite the fact that over the last 10 years, Teamsters members gave $5 billion in givebacks to this company in concessions. $5 billion between 20,000 employees. That means over the last 10 years, these workers gave each $250,000 to this company to keep it running, right? And that's the thing that is so frustrating about all of these narratives about the Teamsters bankrupting Yellow or the UAW bankrupting the big three automakers. Whenever there is actually...
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Whenever there is genuinely a crisis at the company, workers are there to provide for it. Workers make sacrifices to keep their employers afloat. Every day, every year, every time there's a crisis, workers sacrifice, and the people at the top don't. And that's what happened here. The Teamsters sacrificed. They took huge concessions in their contracts to try to save the company. And the company also got loans to try to help pay for their debt. I don't know exactly how that works. They got a huge, almost $1 billion loan from the U.S. government that because the Trump administration was the one that gave them this loan, the U.S. government came last in line in the list of creditors. So the U.S. government said, oh no, if something were to happen, you don't have to pay us back first. You can pay back these goons on Wall Street first that you've also taken almost $1 billion loan from. But you do have to pay us back before you pay the workers. And so that's what happened. They got all sorts of loans. They got all sorts of people trying to help them out, and they still couldn't make it work. And new information just came out last week from Bloomberg. Yellow paid bonuses totaling almost $5 million to 8 current and 2 former executives in the weeks before the company went bankrupt, with plans to liquidate, according to corporate disclosures in Delaware bankruptcy court. Of the bonuses dispersed, nearly $2 million paid on July the 14th were approved by Yellow's board in June when the company was in trouble, but before it was considering filing for bankruptcy. And so while all this is happening, while they're saying the Teamsters is greedy, all of this coming out in the media, they're making their media rounds trying to convince the public that the Teamsters, that the people who actually create what value is in this company, they're trying to convince people that these are greedy, these are the people that are making us bankrupt. They are approving for themselves millions of dollars in bonuses. In bonuses for bankrupting the company. I mean, that is the backwards logic of capital, right? Oh, the people who make maybe $100,000 a year, but who work, days on end, driving all across the country, they're greedy. But me approving $1 million bonus for myself for bankrupting the company, that's just business. That's natural. The July payments include a $1 million retention bonus to Yellow Chief Restructuring Officer Matthew Dehaney, $1.08 million to Chief Operating Officer Daryl Harris, and $625,000 to Chief Executive Officer Darren Hawkins. Sean O'Brien, president of the Teamsters, said Yellow approved millions in executive bonuses in June at the same exact time they were voluntarily choosing not to pay millions in worker benefits to central states. That was one of the issues that leading up to the bankruptcy, is that Yellow was saying, no, we're not going to pay for your health care and pensions like we promised to, like we agreed to in the contract, like we're just not going to pay it. At the same time that they're approving these $1 million bonuses. Absolutely crazy. So, there's another example of corporate greed for you. You just cannot sate the appetite of these people.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.